Warning: the following content contains suggestive content, violence, mentions of pedophilia, horrible writing, cringeworthy moments, the shit you'd usually expect from a Wattpad fanfiction. If any of the above makes you uncomfortable, please feel free to click off of the video. Thank you. Greetings, my fellow trash gremlins. I have returned after, basically a year at this point. Either way, my return is no blessing from God. If anything, I have decided to commit a sin. The sin of hopping onto Wattpad and looking at a shitload of fanfictions and reading them all for the purpose of what we call entertainment. So buckle yourselves in, folks. Grab your popcorn, grab a blanket, and most importantly, grab some ibuprofen, because you're gonna need it after this. Welcome to Zelda Reads Cursed Fanfictions. So for our first fanfiction for this video, we've got one titled Yandere, Dora the Explorer, X-Reader by Shark the Horror Addict. Welp, I can already tell this is gonna be quite the roller coaster, so let us begin. It was an ordinary day for Dora. She was stalking her senpai, your name, last name. You'll love me, your name, even if I have to kill you, she muttered. You were just watching TV during this. Dora went home and into her basement, where the grumpy old troll was tied to a wall. He was unnaturally thin. Please let me go, he pleaded. No, you refuse to let your name, senpai, cross your bridge. For that you suffer. She grinned as she stabbed the grumpy old troll in the stomach with a piece of railing. Said railing killed him. Blood trickled down the railing. Dora smiled and licked the crimson liquid off the rail. One down, many more to go, she said with a sadistic smile. Next on Dora's hit list was Swiper the Fox. Swiper had been speaking to you earlier that day, so he had to die. Dora snuck up behind Swiper and pressed a cloth over his face. Shush, shush, you'll suffer in time, she muttered. She dragged the unconscious fox down to her basement. Where am I? Swiper asked, disoriented. You're in my basement, Swiper, Dora replied in a falsely sweet voice. Dora, what am I doing here? Swiper asked confusedly. You were talking to your name, senpai. For that crime, you suffer. She stabbed the fox in the stomach, making him cry out in pain. She twisted the knife around, easily slicing the tender flesh. She then flicked the knife out of the poor fox. She then reached in and tore out his internal organs. Dear God, for a kid's cartoon doing this is unnecessarily graphic. Dear Jesus. One by one, she tore out Swiper's organs. Ah, the heart, she muttered, as she finally found his heart. She tore it out of the chest of the now dead fox. She shoved the heart down his throat. She then hung him by his intestines. Jesus fucking Christ. Why? Why am I reading this? Ugh. As I said earlier, this is unnecessarily graphic. The massacre continued until it was just Dora, you, and Boots. You were watching a horror movie with Boots and Dora. You hadn't noticed that Dora was directly behind Boots. She grabbed Boots and stabbed him in the stomach. He kicked Dora off him and crawled to escape from her. Dora, what are you doing? Boots asked as he tried to stop the blood from gushing out of his stomach. Dora just grinned. Blood had stained her teeth. I'm ensuring your name is mine. I killed and ate everyone else. Boots, you're next. Boots' eyes widened in terror as Dora stabbed him again and again. Dora, I thought we were friends. I was never your friend, Dora exclaimed before driving the knife into Boots' chest. Boots' screams were cut short from the blade entering his heart and slicing the muscle apart with ease. Dora turned to your name with a vicious grin. Now you'll have to love me your name, she exclaimed. You just backed away from her. You're insane, you yelled before running outside. Dora went to the window and with accuracy threw a knife into your back. You screamed from the pain and fell to the ground. Dora walked up to you. If you won't love me, then I have no other choice. She dragged the blade along your flesh, easily separating it from the muscle and bone. Slice, slice, slice. Muffled screams could be heard as Dora skinned you alive. Once you had bled out, did she begin her new project? Dora sat at a sewing machine for a week, creating a suit made from your flesh. Now you'll always be mine, your name, senpai. Always, Dora said with a sick and twisted grin. Dear God. What did I just read? Why? Oh my God, that was unnecessarily graphic for, like, no reason, really, other than just Dora killing the characters. This is something out of a shitty creepypasta, you know? But at the same time, I can also tell that this is sort of, like, ironic, you know? It's a joke work. And, the writer is clearly aware that this fanfiction that they made is cringe. Yeah, so overall I would rate this one like a 4 out of 10. And mainly that's because of the fact that, like, the fanfiction was just, like, the plot didn't really make a whole lot of sense, you know? And also it's an ex-reader, so, like, I doubt the readers would want to, like, hear about them being cut up and shit. That's kind of gross. So yeah, 4 out of 10. For our next fanfiction, we've got one titled EDP445 versus Jotaro by Big Spamton 6987. Ooh, this one looks like a good one so far. This is gonna be quite interesting, possibly funny, but we'll see. Jotaro Kujo, age 17, is at a cafe with his friend Anne, age 12. It is a nice spring day in Japan, and Anne was glad that Jotaro brought her somewhere new. Jotaro was a bit sad after losing his best friend Kakoyin, and also Avdol and Iggy. So Jotaro, Japan is nice. I wish I could stay here. You're nice. I wish I could stay here. Anne said. I'm sorry. You have to leave in a few days, and I have school to go to, Jotaro replied. Anne sighed. Well, this was a fun trip. I'm glad your mom is okay. Just then, a large, suspicious man walked into the cafe and spotted Anne. He walked up to the counter. He was breathing heavy, as he was very overweight. In fact, he was incredibly sweaty. His Eagles t-shirt was wet around his armpits and didn't cover his entire belly. He asked the girl at the counter where the bathroom was, and he walked there immediately. He was in there for about 25 minutes and thought it was funny when he came out and told the cashier that the toilet was broken and the bathroom was almost destroyed. Jotaro sipped his tea and went back to reading the newspaper. He then told Anne that he needed to go outside to have a cigarette. He looked into the street and saw the cars rushing by. It was nice to be back home after such an adventure. He really didn't want to fight anytime soon, and went back inside. However, when he came back in, he saw the odd man sitting in his chair talking to Anne. She looked really nervous and uncomfortable. It was clear she wanted him to leave. Jotaro was wondering why he took his spot. As he walked back, he heard what the man was saying. "Are you sure you don't want to come back to my place? I have lots of fun things we can do," the man said. I'd rather not," said Anne uncomfortably. "Sir, I demand you to leave at once," Jotaro shouted at him. "Oh, so strong," thought Anne. "Who the hell are you, and why are you talking to Anne?" "I am the great Eat That Pussy 445, and I am doing nothing wrong. I won't let you harm her," Jotaro stated. "Oh, so cool," Anne thought, looking at how even at a time like this, Jotaro was still calm as can be. "I will take her home, and I will fuck her," EDP 445 yelled. "Over my dead body. I will stop at nothing to prevent pedophiles," Jotaro retorted. "So it's a deal. We have a fight to the death," smiled EDP. "You're on." "EDP, you will perish. Bring it, my guy." Jotaro and EDP walk outside of the cafe into the street. Jotaro was thinking that this would be an easy fight to win, but EDP had a trick up his sleeve. They decided to start the fight on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jotaro summons Star Platinum and Aura's EDP. However, EDP has a stand now. He summons his stand. I jacked off 25,615 times and punched Star Platinum across the street, crashing a few cars. "What? How do you have a stand?" Jotaro questioned. "I guess stand users do attract on another. Some weird vampire guy hit me with an arrow and then I could do this," EDP replied. EDP barraged Star Platinum with punches, causing him to fall lower. So it's the same type of stand as Star Platinum," Jotaro observed. "And soon, you won't be able to stand at all. Star Platinum, the world." Time stopped, and Jotaro walked to IJO2T and used Star Platinum to Aura its arms. Time resumed and EDP screamed in pain. "Man, what the fuck was that?" EDP yelled. "I used Star Platinum to stop time and beat your arms," Jotaro explained. "Oh wow, he's definitely going to win," thought Anne, looking out at the cafe window. EDP used IJO2T and extended its arm 2 meters to hit Star Platinum from afar. Jotaro walked up to EDP and used Star Finger to hit his stand in retaliation, but missed due to IJO2T's agility. EDP laughed, thinking about what he'll do to Anne when he wins. Jotaro was frustrated, but ran closer to EDP's stand and stopped time. Aura. Star Platinum yelled and stopped time, wailing on IJO2T's chest and left shoulder. When time resumed, EDP looked less hurt than the last time, but in bad shape. He was breathing heavier than usual, that is, and was bleeding from the head and arms. The fight had gone on a while now, and EDP seemed to really like crashing cars, so there were piles of flaming cars and ash surrounding them. "You really don't give up, do you?" Jotaro said, annoyed. "Dude, I will beat you like I beat my dick at night," EDP threatened. Jotaro was worried that even though Star Platinum was way stronger, it wasn't as durable as IJO2T. Jotaro was bleeding from his forehead and chest. His collar was moderately torn from the fight, and so were his sleeves. He tried to stop time again, but EDP knocked him down into the cafe entrance. Jotaro was feeling like he might lose, as he was punched 10 feet. He was laying on the ground of the cafe. All of the people inside were looking at him, worried about what was happening. and about how they couldn't leave because of the giant fight going on outside. Anne walked up to Jotaro and poured some water on him. Jotaro, I know you can do this. You can even stop time. You can't lose, Anne told him. Jotaro smiled, saying, how can that be? He is too durable and too fast for Star Platinum. Jotaro, are you an idiot? You can stop time. Just stop time and snap his neck. It can't be that hard. You don't even need to hit him. You know, that's actually a good idea. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, he's so nice, thought Anne. Jotaro got up and shakily walked to the counter. He asked the girl for some tea, drank it, and paid in cash. He walked outside and faced EDP. You have pissed me off, and I am annoyed at you, Jotaro said angrily at the large pedophile. Hell no, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, and fuck the shit out of your little friend, EDP replied. Yare yare daze. Jotaro aura-aura'd EDP, but then IJO2T came at him from behind. Then IJO2T used a new ability called 25,615 toes, where its toes detached, and shot at Jotaro and Star Platinum. Taste my toes, motherfucker, EDP yelled, laughing. I just need to get close enough to him, and then I can snap his neck, Jotaro thought. The fires were spreading to buildings now, and smoke practically covered the sky. There was rubble across the pavement that the two figures were standing on. Star Platinum managed to fly around IJO2T and tricked it into getting hit in the jaw. Then they started aura-auring and zora-zoraing, a big stand barrage of punches at each other. While this was happening, Jotaro managed to sneak out around the display of fists and get behind EDP. He tossed the massive miner hunter a bar of soap Jotaro found in the cafe. It was wet from being in Jotaro's sweaty pocket, so it slipped out of EDP's hands. Uh-oh, I can already see where this is going. He dropped the soap. Uh-oh. As he was distracted from picking it back up, Jotaro used the world's ability and froze time. You are truly the second lowest scum in history, Jotaro said, looking at the pedo crusader. With a flick of his wrist, Jotaro called Star Platinum to go over and aura EDP's neck. Aura. All you can hear was bones crunching and fists hitting flesh, and as time resumed, the 400-pound pedophile was laying on the ground. Rain started to fall through the giant smoke cloud, putting out the fires, and as the police and firemen came to clear the debris, Jotaro walked into the cafe to take Anne to the bus. Oh, thank God. Okay, good, so he's dead. Thank God, I thought it would be much worse. Anne, I'm glad you're okay, said Jotaro, but we need to leave. Your flight is in a few hours, and the airport is a bit far. Oh my God, he's so cute and brave. I must marry him, thought Anne. Oh, Jotaro, thank you for saving me, Anne blushed. Yare daze. I hate it when girls act this way. The two walk out of the cafe. It's raining and there are puddles. Everywhere they look around, but the body of EDP is gone. Jotaro looks around and tells Anne to run back into the cafe. Just then, IJO2T comes out from behind the door and grabs Anne. EDP comes out from behind the telephone booth, smiling. Ha 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 ha, now I got the hoe! EDP yelled. You never learn, do you? Jotaro mumbled. IJO2T has a new power, Neck Protect, where it makes my neck invincible. Now I am unstoppable. Damn it, I have to stop him, but I can't risk hurting Anne, Jotaro thought. I only have one power left, Star Finger. Star Platinum's pointer and middle finger grew really fast and hit IJO2T. It went up and fingered it. EDP was freaking out on the ground from all of the sensation. Anne was also freaking out because she was floating in the sky from her perspective. Then the fingers grabbed Anne and put her onto Star Platinum's left shoulder. Wow, I don't know what happened, but I feel a sudden comfort, Anne thought. No, I lost the motherfucking girl. That piece of shit kid will pay, EDP yelled, sweating. Jotaro looked at him. It was clear it took a lot of mental power to use IJO2T, and he was getting pretty tired and beat up from all of the hits he was taking. If Jotaro can wear him out, he will collapse, and his stand will deactivate. Jotaro put Anne down on the ground, and she ran to him. She stood by him while she watched him stare at the sweaty man. It was raining, but you could just tell it was grease his clothes were soaked with. Wow, not only is Jotaro cool, he's also packing, Anne thought, staring at Jotaro, eye level. Jotaro used Zawarudo to stop time and start Platinum Aura at his feet, but time ran out and he got 25,615 toad. This knocked Jotaro back in a puddle. Anne looked at his bloody face and torn clothes and sighed. She saw that he clearly wasn't in a state to fight, but she knew he had to get up. Oh no, if Jotaro dies, how am I supposed to flirt with him? Anne thought. She knew she had to help him back up. Anne stood next to Jotaro, trying to get up, cheering him on. She knew that only Jotaro could defeat the massive EDP 445, but she tried to help somehow. She ran into the cafe and grabbed a croissant and gave it to Jotaro. All of a sudden, he got up and was okay. What is this croissant? Jotaro said, and Anne told him, a convenient plot croissant. Star Platinum activated once more for the final showdown with the huge pedo. IJO2T flew around Jotaro, trying to snatch Anne again, but Star Finger prevented this. Star Platinum stuck its fingers into IJO2T's shoulders, causing EDP to bleed uncontrollably. He tried to get his arm around to his other shoulder, but he couldn't, so he screamed at Jotaro instead. Fuck you, EDP screamed for seemingly no reason except to be edgy. Yare yare daze. Anne looked around. As the invisible stands were fighting in the sky, Anne tried to get at EDP while he was distracted. She threw some rocks at his back, and that made him turn around. While he did this, Star Platinum punched EDP's back, and the rocks that were stuck to his shirt shredded up his skin. He howled, and IJO2T's belt fell off. Shit, now that my motherfucking belt is gone, I don't have the power of neck protect, EDP shouted, giving away his new weakness. Jotaro, you need to get to his neck now, Anne screamed, even though that is what Jotaro was already trying to do. But then, EDP pulled out a piece of a stand arrow and stuck it in his stand. This caused it to break apart into a million pieces on the ground. However, they all came together into a new stand that can freeze time, too. Now EDP was even stronger, but then Star Platinum punched IJO2T Requiem and the stand arrow to fly out and hit Anne. She now has a stand, but she's now laying on the ground in the rain. Ha 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 ha. I have yet another power now. I can move around and stop time, like you. Ha ha ha, EDP shouted. Quiet, I need to beat the shit out of you, Jotaro said coolly. Oh wow, he's so dreamy. I need him, Anne thought even though she was busy manifesting a stand. Now that the world doesn't work on EDP, Jotaro had to think of a new strategy. He got the idea of using Starfinger on EDP, putting a hole through his neck, but the fingers were thin, and he didn't know what else IJO2T Requiem could do. However, EDP quickly used 25,615 toes again, causing Star Platinum to have to dodge in circles to escape the toes. Then, Anne woke up and summoned her stand. It had long finger claws and slashed away at IJO2T. EDP didn't notice because he wasn't that smart and was busy fighting with Jotaro. Once he did notice, it was too late because now Star Platinum was close enough to EDP to shoot a hole through his neck, causing his head to fly off and his body flop to the ground, spilling blood into the large puddles on the ground. Now most of the puddles were red, and Jotaro took Anne away so she didn't see the messed up shredded body of EDP. Wow, Jotaro, you really killed him for me, Anne said cutely to Jotaro. And now that I have a stand, I can join you for real. Yari yari, Daze. I guess I can't stop you now, Jotaro sighed. They both went back to Jotaro's room and made sure to lock the door. Jotaro won, and EDP is lost. The end. Beautiful. Wonderfully magnificent. This is, of course, another joke fanfiction, but unlike the previous one, the plot was super good. And also, I actually liked how they actually gave Jotaro a little challenge, actually. You know, it's not just, because we already know that EDP 445 is a big fat loser, so it's not just EDP gets one-shotted and dies. You know, they kind of made it a little more interesting, so huge respect for that. And so for that, I give this one a 10 out of 10. Great job overall. Loving it. Mwah. Remember, guys, EDP sucks. We hate him. Stan Jotaro. So then for our next fanfiction, we've got Shrek X Obama by Alicia Not Found X. This one sounds like it's going to be emotionally sad, according to the description. So yeah, make sure you get your tissues for this one. Get ready, y'all. It was a bland Tuesday morning, and Shrek decided to go to Asda, you know, 'cause why not? As he was walking to get some milk, he saw a tall man lurking over the cheese, strangely caressing the packet of the red Leicester block. Obama turned around to see the green strong man dressed in his tech wear and smoking on his vape. "What up, my J?" said Shrek in his Scottish accent. "Hello, mate. What you want from Mermaid Obama?" in his masculine English accent. "Dreaming about you, baby girl," said Shrek, while biting his lip. "Damn, might have to think about that, bogeyman, but you looking mighty fine," said Obama, looking down at his beaten-up shoes. They both bit their lip and exchanged snaps and number, and both went home. Obama point of view. I woke up in my bedroom and peeked through my net curtains. It's sunny, I thought to myself. Great. I got on the shower and washed myself off. I got out of the shower and checked my phone to see a message from Hot MF. OMG, he texted me, I squealed. It said, "Hey BBG, wanna meet up in my house today?" I replied with a simple yes, and he sent me his address. I put it up on my beat-up white Air Force and pulled my hair into a messy bun. I grabbed a cropped black jumper and some black Nike Pro shorts and put them on. I went downstairs to tell my mum, Gertrude, that I was going out. "You're a cute disappointment," she said. I replied with a thank you and walked out the door. While driving to his house, I listened to the 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack because I'm a material girl. I arrived at his house and went inside. "Hey baby," I said. "Sexy thing, glad you here." I bit my lip and twisted the corner of my shirt. He made me some food and gave me some red wine, leaving me feeling, you know, and he directed me to the bedroom. Insert smut 'cause I'm not writing that. We finished, feeling refreshed, and we watched Netflix and chilled, just like the ice cream. We watched Coco Melon, watched Blippi, and we fell asleep. When I woke up later because of him, I had a headache because of his loud-ass snoring. I eventually managed to get back to sleep, and he woke me up later. He made me breakfast, and I went back home, and the slag, which is my mum, said I'm a disappointment again. Like I don't already know. We would have been dating for around 6 months now, and everything was great, including you know what, until one day when I walked to his house and walked in the door to hear oinks and moaning. I walked to his room to find him doing the dirty with that big fat bacon slag. I ripped her off my man and threw her clothes at her. She put them on, then took the first hit. We had a full-on fight. I won, obviously, like the bad bitch I am, and dragged her by her false eyelashes to the grass and stomped on her until she looked like a pork sausage. I walked back in the house and punched Shrek in the face. I walked out the house and straight to Peppa's boyfriend's house. I walked straight in and started making out with him, and we started doing the dirty until the slag walked in. To my surprise, she joined us and we had a great threesome. I then said to Danny, by the way, your slag of a girlfriend was cheating on you with my ex, man. Danny dog then went rabbin and ate Peppa, then said, that was some great bacon. I bet, I said. The end. Dear goodness. That was so emotionally sad. I can't believe Peppa Pig cheated on him. I'm so glad she's dead and that Danny dog killed her. Great fanfic. Though, like, a few parts were a little confusing, but maybe that's because of a few typos. But either way, I would give this one a 9 out of 10. Great job. So that concludes with the Wattpad fanfictions. However, there's more. 2 fanfictions written by 2 of my viewers. So prepare yourselves, because these 2 fanfictions are going to be one hell of a ride. Enjoy. Next up, we've got ourselves a fanfiction titled Apple Bottom Jeans, written by Patrick. Oh, and there's also a trigger warning for sex, so, hey. Alright, let us begin. Once upon a time, Louis Armstrong, famous trumpet player, went to a club. He was having a great time when all of a sudden, your mom, Shoddy, walked into the club. Almost immediately did Louis Armstrong, with the 9-inch hard-on, remarked, Shoddy got him apple-bottom jeans. And your mom did in fact have apple-bottom jeans. They were so apple-bottomed that you would cry from it. It was absolutely glorious. Boots with the fur. Yes, she did have the boots with the fur. Those brown boots with the giant fur thing around the top. It was so glorious. It practically radiated its own light. The whole club was looking at your mom, and it wasn't subtle. No, it was very obvious. The music had stopped playing. Everyone was staring and pointing. Men were coming all over themselves? What? And women's pants got soaked. Holy shit, your mom turned the gay men straight, the straight women lesbian, the aces allo. God damn, she was just that attractive. Your mom walked onto the dance floor, where she looked Louis in the eyes. It wasn't long before the two got low, dancing to the songs. Men got jealous, and Louis found it funny. So he turned her around and gave your mom's giant, massive, voluptuous Russia-sized ass a slap. That did it. Everyone in the club but your mom and Louis Armstrong was crying, was angry, was jealous. Louis, with the fire in his eyes, laughed demonically as he led your mom to the back rooms. Louis shoved your mom into the thing, grabbing a pimp that looked suspiciously like the administrator from Team Fortress 2, and throwing her out of the room. He slammed and locked the door behind him and whipped his massive dick out. I refuse to go into detail as it makes me gag to even think about it, but let's just say Louis Armstrong really did your mom. And then the entire club broke down the door and everyone had a turn with your mom. The end? Oh my god. Why? Okay, so overall this fanfiction was pretty fucking funny. So for that, I'd rate it a 9.5 out of 10. Great job. Absolutely glorious. Amazing. So for our final fanfiction for this video, this one was also created by one of my viewers, specifically Jimbo. It is it is titled Zelda Zoofire X Sigma. First of all, why are you shipping me with an older dude? I am a goddamn minor. Second of all, no. Sigma's fucking ugly. He doesn't even wear shoes. And I still have to read this. I said I'd read it, so fine. Fine. Here we go. Horrible day. It's pouring rain, and Zelda is bored until she hears a knock at her door. It sounded familiar. Who is it? Zelda says. It's me, your boyfriend. But I don't have a boyfriend. Zelda tells the man at the door. Before she could walk away, the man opens her door. Sigma, Zelda yells as she turns red. I'm already uncomfortable. Kill me. Yes, darling, Sigma says as he caresses her face. Feet out and everything! Sigma, I, before Zelda can finish her sentence. Sigma kisses her and pushes her onto the couch. I'm gonna, no. God damn it, Jimbo. Jimbo is upstairs admiring some kiddo at his school and hears Sigma and Zelda go wild. Oh, fuck no, he says. The end. This was horrible. I hate it. If you were trying to make me uncomfortable, congratulations, you have succeeded. In fact, because of the fact you have made me so uncomfortable, I'm gonna punish you now. I'm gonna make you draw the art for this video, and you're gonna be uncomfortable the whole time. Yeah, that's right. Fuck you. That's what you get. 0 out of 10. I hate your fanfiction. I'm gonna go jump off a bridge now. So that concludes this video. Thank you to my viewers who submitted fanfictions, and thank you to those who managed to complete this entire video. I'm sorry I haven't posted as much on my channel over the past year because of my horrid lack of motivation, as well as life sometimes getting in the way, and I just don't have a good opportunity to record anything. And I've also been working on my mental health, so woohoo for me! Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope you guys all have an amazing 2023. It could be great or it could be another shitty year. Who knows? I'm just hoping to post more in 2023, so let's see if that happens or not. Later, suckers. I'll see you next year.